Hi and welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Simon and today I'm back with another book haul.
You're joking. Not another one?
I know, another one.
Oh, for God's sake, I can't stand this.
I feel like this channel has got a little bit book hauly, come book shopping-y with me, and that might just be a me thing.
No, I disagree with this entirely. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I need to have a look at that. And actually, at the end of this video, I'm going to have a little bit of a chat with you about content going forward and all that good stuff. So do stay for that. Or if you're not bothered by a lovely big book haul, I'm assuming you all like a book haul. I like a book haul. Then yeah, but if you're not, come back or fast forward to the end of this and then you can leave me your thoughts there too. So as always with this book haul, I'm going to go through, and I should say it's a June book haul and I'm filming this on the last day of June, so I am feeling right on it. But as always, I'm going to go through books from publishers, then, well, some books from publishers because I get a lot of unsolicited that I don't talk about. So some books from publishers, some that have been gifted to me, and also quite a few that I bought myself because in June it was Independent Bookshop Week and I went wild with it. So let's start with books from publishers, and as always I'm going to show you some books where I have shown you them before and they have either changed edition, so it could be hardback to paperback, it could be that the proof was different from the finished cover, but yeah, let's have a crack through them. And first of all is the book that I'm currently reading, which is Emperor of Rome by Mary Beard, and I, along with the artist formerly known as my mother, Louise Savage, Muses, will be in conversation with Mary in Cambridge on Tuesday, and would love it if you were there. I will link the event down below and hopefully it'll be delightful to see some of you. I am very much enjoying this and love how Mary just gets you so engaged with history. So yeah, looking forward to talking to her about that with Mum. Then we have the finished edition of Little Rock by Quirk, which comes out on Thursday, when I will be popping an interview with a Quakey onto my channel for the launch of this. They're one of my absolute favourite authors. This is their 8th book. I've loved it as much as all of the others. In fact, no, I've only read 7 out of 8 now because I've still kept one aside. I've kept Bitter aside because I always like to have one because you never know when the next book's going to come out. That said, there are going to be a lot of Quakey books coming, as you'll find out in that interview. Yeah, I'll talk about this at some other point, but very, 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 very much enjoyed it. I think they're a fantastic author. Then we have Napalm in the Heart by Paul Gouache, which is translated, Naughty Favourite should be on the cover, translated by Mara Faye Leatham. I don't know from what language, because it doesn't say that either. Doubly naughty. But my friend Sean on Instagram has absolutely raved about this and said it's one of their favourite books of the year, and so I want to get to it soon. I have a proof that I may take with me when I go to Cambridge for a couple of days. And then we have finished edition of We Were the Universe by Kimberly King Parsons. I read her short story collection. Is it called Black Light? I feel like it is. Oh, this is where I can't find anything and then I get confused. Yeah, Black Light. I was right. I shouldn't doubt myself. I really enjoyed that short story collection, so very much looking forward to this debut novel. I've heard it's queer and fantastic. Then another book that I've read, but the publishers kindly sent me a finished copy as I was doing an event with the author, so got this signed after having absolutely battered and dog-eared and spine cracked my proof. It's Straight Acting by Will Tosh, The Many Queer Lives of William Shakespeare. I thought this was fantastic, so yeah, really keen to tell you more about it in due course. Hi Biscuit, he wants to try and, you know, get friendly with me at the moment. We're having a bit of a time, aren't we, Biscuit? I've been away a lot and you can't decide if you like me or not. So yeah, I've been getting quite a lot of growls and stuff. I think he feels like I've abandoned him. Anyway, next up, last of these previously seen on Savage Reads books, we have Passion Tide, the new novel. Biscuit, the new novel from Monique Brophy. I absolutely loved The Mermaid of Black Conch, which was the overall winner the year that I judged the overall Costa Book Awards. So yeah, really excited to this. I want to read a lot more Caribbean literature because when I do, I always really love it. I'm going to pause so that we can get this boy outside in the hall. Unless you want to sit on my knee. Hello, you going to come say hi to everyone? You can't get amorous with me on camera, okay? So if that's what you're planning, it's not going to work. We're going to have to put you outside. Yes, I think we are. Sorry about that. Next up are 4 books that actually arrived in previous months. And as I mentioned, I don't always mention everything that comes from publishers, because sometimes I'm like, do I think I want to read it? Am I not sure? And these were 4 books where I wasn't quite sure. The first of which is Plaything. Oh, but I am now sure, which is why they're going to go on to my TBR. But this is Plaything by B. Seton. And this I've just seen various sort of reviews about on Bookstagram. And I love the subtitle of the book, which is "A little jealousy can be healthy, can't it?" Not subtitle, what do I mean? Anyway, that. And that to me is so much better than a blurb. It's just that teasing hint that kind of does it for me. And it didn't have that on the proof. So since this has arrived in the final copy with that and then seeing it a bit on Bookstagram, I'm intrigued because I think the protagonist is meant to be quite unhinged. So yeah. Very, very, very intrigued for that one. As I am The Silence in Between by Josie Ferguson, which when the proof of this arrived, I was a bit like, doesn't look like my kind of thing. However, it's up for the Waterstones debut novel of the year, and I've heard more about it, and I didn't realise it's about a woman who is in Germany, and she's heavily pregnant, she gives birth, and her child is left in the hospital because I think it's born early, and then the wall is built and so she can't get to her child, and that sounds like such an interesting premise, so very intrigued for this one. Then lots of people have been raving about this during Pride Month. It's Bad Habit by Alana S. Portero, and this is translated by, again, Mara Faye Leatham. That could be an interesting video to do, couldn't it, where I read certain books translated by the same person. I've always meant to do that with Anton Her, who, I should say, and I'll link this down below, I am doing his debut book launch in London at Foyles on August the 14th. Anyway, but maybe that's a video I could do in the lead up to that, but blah, 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 back to this. I just heard it's queer and quirky and fantastic, so I'm intrigued. It's got a lovely font too, which, you know me, I love me a font. And then another one that I've seen here and there and has grown on me more since I've seen it here and there is Youth Juice by E.K. Sathu, and again I've just heard this is quite disturbing, a bit uncomfortable, a little bit unhinged, and I'm here for that. That's kind of the vibe that I want for summer, I think, and maybe I will do, if you'd like me to, because I feel like I've seen a lot of them, so you might all be absolutely bored of this idea, but I might do a summer reading recommendations, and if you'd like that, let me know when you watch this video, because I'll try and film that before I go away tomorrow afternoon for a few days. Then on to, actually, and this links with some summer reading plans that I have. I've got 2 sets of books from 2 particular publishers, and the first of those is Dead Ink Press. They have sent me Lost in the Garden by Adam S. Leslie. I asked for this one. This is meant to be quite culty, quite summery, and therefore, like I was saying, possibly a perfect summer read. As sounds Above Us the Sea by Anya Card. I think that might be my favourite cover of the year so far. I have seen it on another book. I was in Gaze the Word the other day and literally saw this exact cover. I will try to look it up if I can, but that's unusual when that happens. Anyway, I just know this is queer and quirky, and that's what I'm in the mood for. As is the first of 3 books that the lovely folk at Footnote have sent me, and I have got a stack of Footnote books that I really, really want to get to, and again I was thinking maybe this could be a theme vlog, we'll see. But this is Wild Geese by Sula Emanuel, and is this translated? I don't know if it is. No, it's not. I don't know why I thought it was, but I believe this is a queer tale of someone who's nearly just turned 30 and everything is kind of going on in their lives, so yeah, I'm intrigued with that one. But the 2 others that I asked for were, firstly, The Coin by Yasmin Zahir. Again, this is meant to be about a really unhinged narrator. This is set in Palestine, and apparently, yeah, this narrator you kind of really can have quite the relationship with. I guess that's how you'd put it. But I've heard amazing things about this, and again, this is another one that I really want to head to this summer. As I do Determination by Tausif Khan. And I won't lie, this cover had me at hello, and I saw that the author was going to be talking at Dead Ink Books, so Dead Ink Press also have a bookshop in Liverpool, which I don't get to go to enough. And then I read a bit about it, and I was like, oh, if you're sending me these 2, would you mind sending me that one? And Footnote were like, no, we'd absolutely love to. And so, yeah, very, very excited for all of those. Then, other books that have come in from publishers are ExWife by Ursula Parrott. This is one of the Faber editions where they're republishing books that have sort of for some reason gone out of print and shouldn't be. I think I'm missing one out of the whole series. I think they've got to 13 or 14 now. And again, been meaning to do a theme reading vlog on reading those. Have I got around to it? No, I haven't, but at some point I would like to. So yeah, we've got that. We also have, and I feel a bit guilty that I've been sent this because I haven't had the best relationship with this author. I often find them under-edited is probably how I'd put it. But anyway, it's Our Evenings by Alan Hollinghurst. And I'm intrigued by this one. I don't know if it's meant to be a follow-up to the Line of Beauty. That's what the actual finished cover's gonna look like. I feel like I heard that, but maybe I've absolutely made that up. I liked the Line of Beauty enough. I think because it had it so hyped to me as this like real queer classic. But actually what I want to do at some point is go to Alan Hollinghurst's earlier books, because I've heard, a little bit like Ian McEwan, that that's sometimes where the best stuff is. So yeah, but I will give this a try, see how I feel. Yeah, we'll see how I feel, we'll see how I go. Now, I have been sent a proof of a book that I actually already have. Can I spot it right now without clicking my neck out or something? Yeah, I can. Oh, I've got to move this pile of books. Oh, on the library front, you'll notice that nothing much has changed, and that's because this side of the room is still very much looking like this, and I think it will until I record my Books of the Year So Far video. But you may notice that the book steps, the shelf steps, what do you call them? The steps that were here and also had the Women's Prize Non-Fiction and Fiction shortlist on have moved because books have been coming down off the other shelves. But then also, I've still got quite a lot of books that are just all over the floor and everywhere. Let's not talk about it. So anyway, I have been sent Delicious Foods from the lovely folk at Europa, which is coming out in August by James Hannaham. They published his more recent novel. I think it was Nobody Give a Shit About Carlotta. Don't Nobody Give a Shit What Happened to Carlotta, which I haven't got around to reading and have meant to because I've heard amazing things about this author. And actually I bought the original hardback of Delicious Foods by James Hannaham in America years ago. And I've just noticed, it's got a little bit of a wet side to it. Have I spilled some water or something? Anyway, yeah, so we have the finished edition here. I believe part of this book is told from the perspective of cocaine, so sounds intriguing. Then we have a book that actually I've just had a comment from a new follower of this channel, or subscriber. I don't like the word follower, it makes me sound like I'm a cult. I'm not a cult, am I? But I just recently got a comment that this is a book that I should read, and quite a few of you said that after I did my 25 recommendations for Pride Month. It's almost the end of Pride, but do keep reading queer books throughout the year. Like puppies at Christmas, gays are not just for Pride. So yeah, but this is one that I've been really recommended. It's Gender Theory by Madeleine Doherty, which the lovely folk at John Murray very kindly sent me because lots of people were saying that I should read this, both in DMs on Instagram and also on the channel. So I've got it. Then we have the new Bella Mackie book, What a Way to Go. I will be in conversation with Bella about this book in October. I'm really looking forward to it. I really enjoyed How to Kill Your Family, and I'm intrigued for this because I think it's about someone pretty horrible. Well, a despicable individual is scratched out on his tombstone, and then loving husband, adored father, respected businessman, and then died gruesomely is crossed out as well, but taken too soon is there, and then rested in intolerable purgatory / peace. So I think this is going to be a twisty, brilliant book. We have a 2025 book. I realise I've not said when any of these are coming out. I'm so sorry. I also won't have listed them in the description box because the turnaround time is too tight and I want to get dancing to Girls Aloud. But a book that's out in 2025 and I'm so excited for is Old Soul by Suzanne Barker, who wrote The Incarnations, which the artist formerly known as my mother, or the aforementioned artist formerly known as my mother, before I mentioned her earlier, aforementionedly, moving on, has recently read The Incarnations and been raving about it. This is Suzanne's next book that is coming out in February and is meant to be a tale of horror. So yeah, very excited for this. I still never know when it's too early to read proofs from the next year and how intrigued you are for books that are coming out in 2025. Does it actually wind you up because you're like, why are you talking about that book, because I can't read it until X, Y or Z date? Let me know that in the comments down below too. Then we have short stories by Rupert Everett, The American No. Very intrigued for this. Rupert Everett is a right so-and-so, and I mean that in a nice way. And yeah, I'm intrigued to see what he's done with this. I've seen that there's like scripts in here and stuff, so I think he plays with form a little bit, but intrigued, very much intrigued. Yeah. And then penultimately from publishers, we have one of the books that I'm most excited about and want to get to very soon. It's All the World Beside by Gerard Conley, whose memoir, oh no, what's wrong with me? Whose memoir, I can see the cover, why can I not? Boy Erased. Whose memoir, Boy Erased, I absolutely loved. And I've never watched the film, actually. That's something that I should do at some point, but I've heard just incredible things about this. I really love the cover. It's historical queer fiction. And yeah, I'm really intrigued for it. I do, I really love the cover. I love the hot pink and then the sort of oldie worldy picture. Yeah, really like that. And then last but not least from publishers, I got sent Exile Again from John Murray by Amy Walsh. I actually saw this on the fabulous Rachel of What Ray Reads channel. I'll link her channel down below because she's brill. And this is all about a character I think comes from Belfast to Liverpool and looks at the relationship between the two. And I live not far from Liverpool, over on the Wirral. And so yeah, I'm really keen to read about that. So very excited. I think, is she Irish? Yes. And I'm going to Ireland in July. I'm definitely going to Dublin and may well be going to Belfast again. Well, I've been to both of them before, but Belfast more recently. Anyway, yeah, so that could be a perfect time to read that. Then on to a few lovely gifts from folk. The first of which is from one of my lovely patron, Jane's sister Jo. And we were at the Women's Prize Live and they were there, and she kindly gave me this, which is A Room of One's Own, a lecture by Elif Shafak, because she knows how much I love Elif Shafak. And so yeah, this is mine. Now I have a very tempestuous, not tempestuous, that's not fair, tricky relationship with Virginia Woolf, but I absolutely adore Elif Shafak. So yeah, I'm really excited to have this and want to get to it at some point over the summer. And then two books very kindly sent from my wish list by the lovely Denise are Christina Cook's Brow Toppsy. This is a queer novel. Now, where is this one set? Yeah, from Canada to native Jamaica. And as I was saying, I really want to read a lot more books that are set in the Caribbean, but also I want to read a lot more books from Canada. So this ticks both those boxes. And then we have a book that so many people have told me I need to read in America. It's not out here. And last year, and actually so far this year, there have been a couple of books that aren't available here that have been recommended to me from America that I've absolutely loved. And one of them was my favourite book of last year, and one of them will quite possibly be in my books of the year so far when I film that shortly. But yeah, this is The Future Was Colour by Patrick Nathan, and I've just heard it's an incredible queer novel. And like I was saying earlier, like queerness isn't just for Pride, it's all year round. And I feel like I want to have a bit of a queer, quirky, unhinged summer. That's possibly what I'm going for, and this is one of the books that I would like to read. Then on to books that I bought myself. Now, I'm a very kind person, particularly to the artist formerly known as my mother, and so I'd spotted this book on the Giller Prize. No, that's not true. It's not on the Giller Prize at all. Is it, Simon? No, it's on the Miles Franklin long list. And I was like, oh, I've not heard of this. And when I read up about it, it's a book that's set on a volcanic archipelago, and if you're doing the Savage reading prompts this year, you'll know that one of them is quite tricky but I think a lot of fun, and that is a book with a volcano on the cover. And as this book was set on a volcanic archipelago, I thought therefore that constituted a lovely cover with a volcano on. And my mum said it didn't, so I bought her one. She's not having it now. I'll do a giveaway at some point, but yeah, this is what I've got. This sounds like it's a really quirky, quirk is a really dividing word, isn't it? This sounds like it's quite an unusual book about two sisters on a volcanic archipelago where some strangers come and change everything. but already they're living quite an odd life where they sort of have ripples of folklore within their family, but also one of them is best friends with a donkey, and it just sounds really, really intriguing. So there we have those. Then I've heard about this on Books the House Down channel and also on Nathan Snook's channel, and both of them raved about it, and I'll link both their channels down below as well. And I was like, oh, this sounds great. It's another queer book. It's Perfume and Pain by Anna Dawn, and they just said it was completely and utterly compelling and you can't put it down. And again, that's what I need at the moment. I feel like once I've finished reading for a prize that I'm not allowed to talk about in a couple of weeks, I'm literally going to just read by whim for pretty much the rest of the year, with the exception of a few books for events that I'm going to be doing. That is my plan. Now, I've seen this book on so many channels, I couldn't list them all down below because the folk at Hogarth have done an incredible job of getting this to a lot of my favourite booktubers over in America. And actually, David Ebershoff, the author, who's also an editor at Hogarth, I nearly emailed him and said, oh, could you send this? Because he very kindly does send me Hogarth books, but he sent me quite a few and I haven't read them yet, so I thought I can't ask for another one. But I really, really want to read this. This is The Observable Universe by Heather McAlden. It's non-fiction and it's about both of her parents getting HIV, and I just think it sounds incredible. It's also a little bit vignette-y and a little bit different, and I think it also looks at space, and there's quite a few books that have come out this year that look at space and sort of humanity, and so I feel like I might want to have a bit of a binge of that. I think it's coming out in the UK at some point, but the cover is nowhere near as good as this, so there we have that one. Then another book, in fact all of the next three, including, well, in fact, these two were both books that were imported. So is this one, and as are the next two. This is Another Word for Love, a memoir by Carvel Wallace, a queer memoir that people are raving about on the other side of the water. So I thought I want to get my mitts on it, and so it has finally arrived. Then the next two books are both books published by SJP Lit, which is Sarah Jessica Parker's imprint in America. I do have the hardback of this next one, but I think the paperback edition is just so beautiful and also a bit more sinistery and a bit more me. This is Alicia Chang's A Quitter's Paradise. I don't know what this is about, which makes it a little bit, well, let's say quite a lot naughty that I have 2 copies of it, but I feel like, knowing Sarah Jessica Parker loves a lot of authors that I do, in particular Caris Davies, I feel like maybe we've got a similar reading taste, so that's something that I may be trying at some point. But yeah, so we've got this one, and then the other one is Women and Children First by Alina Grabowski, and again, I don't know too much about this other than it's meant to be sort of a literary thriller that really, really grips you and you can't put it down. And I did see Sarah Jessica Parker talking to Alina Grabowski, and she said my name because I'd asked a question in the live chat.
Describe the feeling you have when you feel you have to publish a book.
I think it's Simon. I think Simon.
I know, I almost died. So yeah, I'm very excited for this one too. And then last of the books that weren't bought in independent bookshops, which we'll be going through next, is The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue. Now, the reason I picked this up, because Virago very kindly sent me a paperback of it, is it's got a Book Talk Awards sticker that isn't actually a sticker and is actually just embedded onto the cover that I can't abide. I've read this, I absolutely blinking loved it, and I read it on the say-so of What Ray Reads, so that's a double push for you to go and check out her channel. I want us to become bookish best friends, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, yeah, I really, really loved it and wanted this because I just think it's a nicer cover. That said, they're reissuing her earlier books in a very similar colour. I mean, the paperback is pretty much just that image, just with this blanking Book Talk Award sticker that I don't want on it. And yeah, I like the reissues that they're doing. So I might have a bit of a summer of Caroline O'Donoghue too. So next up are some books that I got in London with Mum, and I did a come shopping with me video where all of these were featured, which I'll link down below if you want to find out more. So let's just go through them very quickly. I picked up But the Girl by Jessica Zan May Yu in Libraria, in the Brixton Bookshop. No, not the Brixton Bookshop, in the Brick Lane Bookshop. I got Them by Harry Josephine Giles, which is a poetry collection, plus My Dead Book by Nate Lippens, which is a queer dark tale. And then in the Common Press, who are having some financial issues, so I will link them down below so that you can go and support them if you possibly can. I picked up 3 books because it was such a corking bookshop. Supplication by Noor Abbey Nakhul, which is meant to be creepy, along with, well, Deliver Me by Ali Nash, which also looks creepy. These are all going to kind of be, I feel like I'm already giving away what a lot of my summer reads are going to be, but anyway. And then also The Milkman's on His Way by David Rees, which is a gay classic from 1982, which has been republished, and I'm intrigued for that. I was born in 1982, so that feels like it has a, I don't know, there's something going on there. And also in that video I mentioned that I had been to the West Kirby Bookshop and picked up 3 books. It was their 3 for 2 at the first weekend of Independent Bookshop Week. I got Cecilia by K Ming Chang. I have all of K Ming Chang's books, so I need to actually get a read on and read them. I also got Mouthing by Orla Mackey, which sounds like a brilliant Irish tale of a town, and then The Serpent Dance by Sophia Slater, which was described as The Wicker Man meets Rebecca. That was all I needed to know. Is that a summation of just that short when I do these hauls the way forward? Because then I'd whiz through these. As I mentioned, I did an event with the lovely Will Tosh at Daunt Books in Summertown in Oxford, and while I was there they very kindly gave me a very generous gift voucher to spend in any Daunts. I used some of it to buy Mum a copy of Straight Acting because I want her to read it, because I'm not a big fan of Shakespeare, but that book has made me want to get back to Shakespeare and find out more, and Mum is a big fan of Shakespeare. I thought it'd be interesting for her to read it and see how she feels about the queer-eyeing of it. Anyway, when I was there, the lovely Eleanor recommended a book to me, and it's one that I hadn't heard of, and it's one that I'm not sure I would have picked up from the cover or the blurb, because it's a book about work, and I don't know how I feel about that, but it's called Help Wanted, and it's by Adele Waldman, and apparently it's absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to test the bookseller with this one. So Eleanor, I will report back, and we'll see what I have to say. But yeah, thrilled. I also got a free Daunt Books bag because it's lovely. Daunt Books Summertown, stunning. Then in Oxford, now this wasn't independent, well, it is a sort of independent bookshop, but it was a discounted bookshop, and I went a little bit wild, I won't lie to you, excuse me, and I went a little bit wild, I won't lie to you, because I picked up not 1, not 2, but 3 books there, which is really naughty of me, but they were all $3.99, so I couldn't not. I picked up 2 Damon Galgut books because they have them in these new editions which match The Promise, although I hate the cover of The Promise. I really love the font on it, and I can be a bit of a completist like that. So yeah, we have The Beautiful Screaming of Pigs, and we also have The Imposter. The Imposter sounds amazing, and I think very well could be a summer read, so yeah, I'll tell you more about that then. And then I also got 7 Days in June, which I meant to read in June and haven't, so this may well end up lingering on my shelves until next June. But I read the first paragraph of this. I'd heard amazing things. I heard it was quite a spicy, saucy book, and I read the first paragraph, and indeed it is, and it also made me laugh, and I showed it to Mum and she nearly wet herself, so that was a good one. And then I've seen this online loads. I've never seen it in a bookshop, but I've always been on the lookout for it, and it is a short story collection called Are You Enjoying by Meera Sethi, which is, I think, lots of different tales about people in Pakistan that really defy what you maybe would say the stereotypes of what you hear about Pakistan. So yeah, I'm really, really, really excited for that one too. I need to take all the price off those. Oh, I also went to the Ashmolean where I picked up a bookmark because I'm collecting bookmarks. I decided to start doing that last year at National Trust Properties, but also I picked up quite a few postcards because a postcard can be a really good bookmark. So yeah, so I've got those two. And then last but not least, when I was in Halifax seeing Grace Jones at the weekend just gone, it's been a week of 2 gigs in 1 week. I saw Wicked as well this week, so he's absolutely seeing shows galore right now. Anyway, I picked up 2 books there, one of which was covered by the lovely voucher that the folk at Independent Bookshop Week and Books in My Bag had very kindly sent me. So really, one of these books was free, and when that happens, you know, the maths, and that means that you have to buy another one because then you've actually spent some money. for the Bookshop. Does that make sense? Even though really you've done it twice. Anyway, that's my maths and they're the ones that I'm sticking to. I will show you this delightful orange book corner Bookshop bag, because that's what the Bookshop in Halifax is called. The concert with Grace Jones was just absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, I picked up one that I'd had my eye on, which is the one that I'm going to say wasn't free. And that's Lost on Me by Veronica Ramo. This was longlisted for the Booker International and was one of the ones that I was most keen to get to. I heard it was very witty and quite different, and it's about a young girl growing up in Rome. I would like to go back to Rome at some point. And then the one that I picked up that was technically free because it was via the voucher from the lovely folk at Books in My Bag was one that I hadn't heard of, and this is Disturbance by Jenna Clake. And on the back it says, propulsive and wry, this razor-sharp debut for fans of boy parts and My Year of Rest and Relaxation explores the ways that relationship and trauma can haunt our lives. And it being compared to Moshfegh intrigued me, along with I absolutely love the colours on that cover. I think that's just gorgeous, colourway. So yeah. Also, I have to say I've become really obsessed with colourful, which is where you have to create one colour out of several different colours. There's an easy one and a hard one, and it's like almost like creating a pot of paint version of Wordle. Just putting it out there if there's something you want to get addicted to. Anyway, there we go. That is Disturbance by Jenna Clake, and another one that I'm hoping to head to over the summer, which leads to what I said I was going to talk about at the beginning, at the end. And that is that I do feel like the channel has got a little bit hauly and a little bit, I don't know, the vlog that I did where it was come book shopping with me, where I talked about some of the books that I've talked about again here, felt really chaotic, a bit slapdash, a bit haphazard, and not, I mean, it was fun, but I feel like I want to be making stuff that's a bit slicker. I've got a bit more time to edit and sort of mess about with a little bit. And so I think what I'm going to do after next week is take a break from BookTube for a while. And so I have the Akwaeke Emeze interview next Thursday. I may sneak in a summer reads, both what I'm planning on reading this summer, but also recommendations for you lovely lot, video on Tuesday if you like one. But if you're summer booked out, let me know in the comments down below. You can be honest about it, I won't film it. And then I think after my books of the year so far video, I'll probably take a bit of a breather. It might be for the rest of July, it might go a bit into August. I haven't quite decided yet. I am feeling, on a sort of personal note, quite not burnt out, because I had that at the end of 2022, so I know how that feels, but I have the beginnings of that feeling at the moment. It has been a bonkers 4 weeks where I've only really been home for about 5 or 6 days during that time, and I feel like I really want to catch up with life a little bit. I'm off to Riyadh, one of my favourite places in the world, in July. I'm off to Ireland for a bit in July, and I'm also just going to have a week off everything at home in between the two. And I think I want to come back sort of, not that I'm not excited about BookTube, I totally am, but I want to come back a bit more energised and actually come back and have a couple of videos in the can that I can sort of, I mean, I'll still be filming, even though I won't be necessarily around. And actually, I should mention, I've got a new toy from work because I'm doing a project later in the year, and I'm going to be testing this out and making some content over the summer, but stuff that I want to, like I said, have a bit more time to sort of edit and think about and maybe plan a bit more, because I also feel a little bit like I'm doing a lot of just sitting in front of these shelves, and I'm not sure how exciting that is for all of you. I mean, you might love it. Tell me in the comments down below. I'd really love that feedback. But yeah, I'm also very aware that I haven't done a wrap up for ages, and I was going to film a two-part spring reading wrap up, and I looked at how many books there were, even taking out the Women's Prize for non-fiction shortlist and the Women's Prize for fiction long list. There were still so many books, and so I can't quite decide if I will do that and maybe publish that at the beginning of August maybe, or is that too late and nobody cares after the books of the year so far video, because it is quite nice that I'm hoping the books of the year so far video will be a video full of bookish surprises, because I haven't done any wrap-ups for a while. But yeah, all of those thoughts are going on at the moment, but I'm definitely going to be taking a breather. But I'd love to know if you would like to see those spring reading wrap-ups, albeit like midway through the summer, or whether actually you'd just like me to do a very quick video, which I've done one recently on Patreon actually, and if you want to join Patreon, it's always linked down below, where I went through every book that I had on my shelves from last year and gave very short thoughts on it and whether I liked it or not, and also whether I was going to keep it or not. That's something I've done quite recently there, so if you want to check that out, do. It's over an hour long though. Anyway, so yeah, that was a lot of thoughts, but basically I'd like your thoughts on what you'd like to see once I return, really, because even if you wanted to see that spring reading wrap up, it's not going to be in the next week because I'm away most of next week. But then, like I said, I'm home a bit more, but also have some holidays rather than being travelling non-stop for work. So yeah, going to Rheagoch, that's just going to be a complete and utter breather in North Wales with the lovely Mike and Preds, and then, and Floss, obviously, Floss the dog who I'm obsessed with, and then very excited to go and see my friends Bernie and Chris, or join my friends Bernie and Chris over in Dublin later on in July, and then possibly go to Belfast for a little bit on my own afterwards. So yeah, that's all coming up. And I'll be making content of all of that will then go live in August. I'm overthinking it, over talking it. I don't know, it's quite vulnerable making to say, like, you feel like the content you're making isn't quite as good as you'd like it to be, but also to say, like, I'm quite tired and I do want to keep making stuff, but I do feel like maybe I should have like a month off every year where I just don't, or maybe I should just take 2 weeks here and there or whatever. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. All your thoughts on that down below. Thank you as always for watching. Please let's carry on chatting about the books in the comments down below. Well, that said, if you didn't like any of these, I don't want to know that now because I'm very excited for all of them. But if you loved them, do let me know. Also let me know if you'd like to see that summer reading recommendations and what I'm planning on reading over the summer video, and what your thoughts are on wrap-ups once I come back in August after a break, after next Sunday, that's when I'm planning on doing my books of the year so far video. So that's all of that. Thank you very much. All of your thoughts, please. I will speak to you all soon. I hope you're reading something fantastic. And yeah, bye.